Hey guys, Deathy here. I'm a former Overwatch player as well as Team Fortress 2 player and a lot of other competitive games. I've been playing Deadlock for about 3 months with around 600 games, and I've played in, I would say, the highest MMR games that you can. I just got third with my team in the first North American Deadlock tournament. And today I wanted to make a tier list for solo queue. So I think a lot of people have made different tier lists about characters, which character is best, which character isn't. I think a lot of those tier lists made from high MMR players are based on, their understanding of the game at a high level in a fairly coordinated environment. However, I know that you guys' reality is very different. The reality is in your games, most of the time, people aren't coordinated. Everybody's doing their own thing. And so if I were you, what I would want to know is what's the best character to take over a game with? So in this video, I'm going to go over all the characters, and we're going to go over which characters are best to carry with and why, and also which characters maybe aren't so good without a coordinated team. So without further ado, let's get started. So I did S, A, B, C, and D. So S tier are going to be really the cream of the top solo carry characters, so they can take over a game by themselves. A tier are going to be they're viable if you would like to solo carry, but they might not be the absolute best. B tier is you could solo carry if you're really good at it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend. And C and D tier are going to be the characters that I would say struggle the most with solo carrying. So first character, top of S tier. I'll try to order them. Right now, Shiv is without a doubt the best solo carry in the game. And I would say that it is a little bit because of his character design, but also a lot of it because he's very broken right now. And his character design is one of the few characters that can actually like 1v6 in team fights. And I'm not saying this exaggerating. He can turn around fights once he has leech, once he has siphon bullets or unstoppable or whatever it is. He can actually just kill everyone, and there's very little you can do to stop him. There's not a lot of counterplay. And also, he's one of those characters that has a pretty high skill cap. Maybe not as high as some other characters, but you can definitely be playing him really well. So I would say he's the best character to solo carry with. In second place for solo carrying, I'm going to go ahead and put Lash. So I think Lash is an extremely impactful character, and I think the lower in MMR that you are, the easier it is to solo carry with Lash because people misunderstand this character's kill potential. You are extremely fast. You can move around the map really fast. You can kill people from 100 to 0 extremely quickly if you are doing well. And so you have really high impact ultimate. You can get multiple kills. So I would say that because of all these things, I would put Lash as a very, very top S tier character for solo carry. Right after Lash, right now, I would put Infernus. Now, the reason I put Infernus, and some people might not see it as much, is because Infernus right now, his laning stage is very, very strong. I would say he's one of the stronger laners in the game, and he can very easily run away with the game. He's extremely hard to catch. He has an obscene amount of DPS. He has an obscene amount of lifesteal. And all of these things are really important if you want to solo carry a game, right? You have to be able to take 1v2s. You have to be able to take 1v3s if you want to solo carry a game. And so what you're seeing right now in S tier is that all three of these characters have ways to sustain themselves. Lash has his Flog. Infernus has a lot of lifesteal by building Spirit lifesteal, Soul Shredder bullets, Infuser, etc. And Shiv just has a passive that lets him sustain very well. Now, after these, there's a couple different options, but I would say that Paradox right now would be number 4 in solo carry because Paradox's damage, especially at lower MMRs, Paradox's damage is just absurd sometimes, especially if you're getting ahead. You have a guaranteed way to kill a lot of people with your railgun and then into swap into your ultimate. So I would say that it's very easy to run away with the game, and much like Infernus, Paradox's laning stage is very, very strong. You have the grenade for wave clear, you have the 3 for a large amount of harass, and if you're better than the enemy team, you can most definitely carry. After these characters, I would say that right now, in terms of solo carrying, these are the best. And I'm hesitating between putting Vindicta at the bottom of S tier or at the top of A tier. But I think I will put her at the bottom of S tier. And the reason for that is she is the definition of a snowball character, right? If you are better than everyone on the server, you will get a lot of kills with your assassinate. And if you get a lot of kills with your assassinate, you're going to get a lot more souls than everybody else because she gets bonus souls when she executes people with assassinate. Right now, she's just a pretty strong character in general. Ever since the slowing hex changes, you can't take her out of flight anymore easily. You need to build knockdown or some other form, and then she can just build debuff remover, and she can stay in flight. So very strong character, has a lot of DPS, a strong laning stage, and has a snowball mechanic. So I would say S tier. Now, as far as A tier, top of A tier for me has to be Pocket. I think Pocket could have been an S tier. He's very, very strong to solo carry with. He has a lot of impact. The biggest problem with Pocket is that, unfortunately, his ultimate tends to fall off really hard. So late game, everybody has debuff removers. The damage is just not as impactful. And so his ultimate falls off. And that's the biggest reason why I would say that I put him A tier. His kit itself still remains very high damage. Barrage, especially when people don't know how barrage works, if you get 4 barrage on someone, I mean, they might as well be dead. There's nothing they can do. You have a very high damage amp on them. You have a good escape, good survivability, good split push, good solo kill potential, all things that a solo carry character needs. In A tier, I would also right now put Wraith. Wraith is a pretty good character overall right now. I would not say that she's incredible, but she is pretty good. The reason I put her as a solo carry potential is because with her ultimate, she has a lot of solo kill potential. So you have a lot of potential to get really far ahead. She's also really good at farming, and she's survivable. And so if I wanted to solo carry, I think Wraith is one of the better options. As far as the other solo carry characters, I think Warden right now is pretty good. I would put him in A tier. He has a good amount of solo kill potential. He has a really good amount of tankiness. He can have really good DPS, and he's also extremely mobile, especially if you build movement speed items on him, like Fleetfoot, like Heroic Aura, whatever it may be, because you go insanely fast. And I think rotating is very beneficial if you're trying to solo carry a game. I think after these, in B tier, I would put Grey Talon, Lady Geist, Bebop, and Haze. So I'll go one by one. Grey Talon, I think, is very strong, but he's quite squishy. And if you're behind, if your team is behind and they're able to just like go on you, it's pretty hard to survive. You don't have the survivability element that Vindicta has. Her flight is much faster. She can get a lot more movement with it. You're a little bit more vulnerable as Grey Talon. Your damage output can be absolutely insane, though. So I do think you can solo carry with this character. I think it could be put in A tier, arguably. But I think that the main thing that it's lacking is survivability compared to the other characters. Lady Geist, I'm actually going to put Lady Geist in bottom of A tier after thinking about it for a little bit. She's a fairly strong character, and she has a ridiculous damage output, especially when people do not understand how her 3 works. So her 3 amplifies her damage, so if you just hit it over and over, she'll do more damage, and she can definitely get away with a lot of disgusting things. She can swap her health as well, and so I think she has a good amount of solo carry potential, and she has a really good wave clear as well, which is important. Bebop in B tier. I think Bebop, inherently the character's kit kind of revolves around having somewhat of a team. I mean, you're hooking people, you're creating opportunities for your team. If you're doing really well, you can follow up on those hooks yourself, but ideally you want to have a team for it, so that's why I put it in B tier. I've seen a lot of really good Bebop players like, Waylex or some other. I'm sure there's a few in NA that I've seen. Waylex, Lalo, some other people that make the character look, A tier or S tier for solo carrying. but I would say for the average person, Bebop is probably B tier. Haze, I put in B tier. I would say she used to be S tier, but now she's B tier just because she's not that good of a character right now. Her damage is just not good enough. And, you know, there's never a case in which I would prefer having a Haze over an Infernus, for example, or a Wraith even. So she doesn't offer a ton of utility. Her ultimate, especially at lower MMRs, is very good for killing people. So I think you can absolutely solo carry with her, but I don't think she's the best solo carry character, not even close. And I'll also add Yamato to the B tier. Yamato used to be, I would say, A or even S tier for solo carry, but right now with the current meta, she's not very good. She feels a little bit underwhelming, and therefore I'm putting her in B tier. And then all the characters that are remaining, I think the only one that is, the only ones that are B tier that are left are Abrams and Kelvin. So Abrams and Kelvin, both characters you can solo carry with, I believe. I mean, technically you can solo carry with anybody, but I think Abrams and Kelvin have kits that allow them to solo carry to an extent. Abrams can become a killing machine fairly easily. Kelvin has a lot of rotational power, and he can get guaranteed solo kills with his ult once he builds alchemical fire. So I'm going to put him bottom of B tier. I don't think that they're the characters you should be picking if you want to solo carry, but you can. In C tier, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put Moan Krill, 7, and Dynamo and Ivy. And then in D tier, McGinnis and Viscous. I think McGinnis and Viscous are probably the worst solo carry characters right now. McGinnis does offer some potential, but I don't think it's good enough. The only player in the game right now that I think makes McGinnis not look completely terrible is Naked. And even playing against Naked, McGinnis's kit just doesn't offer a whole lot. You can get really farmed on her, I guess, but you know, that'll get shut down really quick. And I think unless you're a McGinnis one trick, I wouldn't recommend. In Viscous just doesn't do enough damage to solo carry. Like that character is 100% utility. So yeah. Moan Krill, also same idea. Does some damage, but is mostly utility. Quite hard to solo carry with. 7's just not a good character right now, period. Dynamo can do a lot of damage, but the character's kit is inherently based around his team. And same for Ivy. You can build both Dynamo and Ivy to do a lot of damage, but inherently they are team-dependent characters, so it's hard for me to rank them highly for solo carry potential. So that's it for the solo carry potential tier list. So I would say that if you're looking to, you know, go into higher MMR games, climb out of the lower MMR games, and you're looking for the best characters to do it, I would pick characters that are in S tier or A tier in this list. Obviously, this list is subjective. I'm sure that if another player made the same list, they would probably have opinions that differ based on their own experience. I made this based on my own experience and in my circle of friends, seeing what works in lower MMR games, and how I myself climbed out of the lower MMR games when I first started playing was mostly Lash, Infernus, and Paradox. So I can say that these characters work really well against players that aren't as experienced. Yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Just two things. Feel free to join my Discord if you have any questions. I'll be linking it in the description below. And also, I will be offering to do demo reviews. So if you have a game that you're wondering, hey, why did I lose this game? Was it my fault? Was it my teammate's fault? Etc. Feel free to link the match ID in the description. If you don't know how to find the match ID, if you go on your profile in your match history and you click on the match, at the top right, there's going to be the match ID. Right now, I think it's around 7 numbers. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions or comments, anything you'd like to know. Feel free to put it in the comments. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.